welcome to my channel. If you're new, hi, I welcome you, and I hope you really enjoy this video. And if you do, you know what you can do, put the thumbs up and don't forget to follow. And if you're not, hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm back. So guys, today's topic is so different. I just want to talk about like love and relationships. I know I've never really spoken much about it, but I just felt like today I felt like talking about it. Yesterday actually what triggered me is that like, I'm probably like days behind in terms of trends or whatever. And if you're not really from South Africa, then you won't really also be aware of this story. But there was a story about one of the rappers here in the South African industry and his fiance, how she committed suicide. She jumped off a balcony a month ago, like off a balcony in a Cape Town hotel. I don't really need to mention the names because I'm not really like here to talk about them or to bash them, but to just talk about the situation. And then the reporter that I was watching was reporting that they were actually in a toxic relationship. They were in an abusive relationship. The woman was reporting that the spouse, the rapper, was abusing her, and there were like videos of him like bashing down the door and like going to her to like fight. And then this like his big videos of his friend like holding her down, and she's saying that she's like tired of him. They don't know who he is, and that there was also like alleged that they were both on like drugs. Also there were also videos of her ruining his like Grammy award, not Grammy, but like the awards here in this in the country, like destroying his room and stuff. And so this woman eventually ended her life. Some are alleging that it may not have been a suicide, but regardless of whatever was alleged, this young beautiful woman lost her life. And this story is like so common, and it's just so tragic. It's just so tragic. Especially, I don't know about other, I think also other places around the world, there is a lot of gender-based violence that is going on, but here in South Africa it's like another level. It's quite horrendous. Actually, it's quite horrendous. And like it just kind of made me start thinking like, what is going on, what is really going on? And like, for my own understanding, especially if I have to be real, like I'm gonna input my own input, and I'm also gonna let spirit guide me on whatever messages, even in the spirit, like what also is occurring, okay, and what's happening in a global field in terms of relationships. Because I feel like more than anything there is an imbalance, guys. I don't know if you know much about masculine and feminine energy, but there's been an imbalance in masculine and feminine energy in the world, okay? So most feminines have like adopted the masculine traits, like especially here. Like if I have to make an example about here in South Africa, most of the men, to be honest, they are more like influenced by drugs and alcohol. Alcohol abuse is a huge problem in this country, to be honest with you. Alcohol abuse is a problem, and I'm just glad that God delivered me from drinking. It's been maybe over 3 years now, where I never look back, because even when I used to go to these parties and these events, like you're bound to see arguing, fighting, aggression, and for us, I also feel like it's because of our historical events that have occurred in South Africa. South Africa has been fighting for so long, and just the violent nature of our history. So energy doesn't die. So I feel like most of the men they now have resorted to alcohol as a means to kind of like fill a void, because they've had their power taken away. Because the masculine energy is power, it's power, control. That's kind of more how they operate. So when the settlers came, and they took and forced them to be, as much as we didn't have slavery here, but now they were forced into jobs, and they were had their identity taken away with the Dompas, and they were just like degraded in terms of society. But the role of the black man was not that way, you know. The black man and was head, you know, not so long ago. So they came from head to tail. So that is a huge ego crush, you know. Like, you may not understand as the woman because we operate differently, but their egos were completely crushed. And now they were, you know, they value as a man in their homes and in their villages and in their society was really demolished. So that has done something to the psyche of the black man, and I don't even think it's just here in South Africa. If you take it to anywhere, you know, with slavery and so much that has occurred, so like it really has done something to the psyche of the black man. And with women as well, now they had to, because now poverty became a thing, and we never really had a problem with poverty because, you know, we are in Africa. It's green, forever green, it's luscious. You never really needed to work, you know, as long as you had a house and food and everything, you were abundant, you know. And we had livestock, animals for trade. And even back then in the kingdoms and the royal families, you know, like everything was abundant. We didn't know, there was no such thing as poverty or lack or homelessness and all of these European things that happened that came down now when we were now following another agenda, and we kind of stepped out of how our societies were, you know. And how now the man and the woman, the black man and the black woman had conflict, because now even the woman, now that if you're living in poverty, especially if you're living in now, if you think about right now, it's in the like a basic family system, it is rare like for the woman to not be working, you know. The woman now has to work as well to sustain a living and to sustain food and to support the family, you know. It's not easy to just be living on a one income family, unless the man is obviously on another level, high ranking, you know. But that puts strain as well, because now she's not really able to really, now she has to adopt the masculine energy of being a provider as well. And that's not our natural energy. As women, we receptive. As women, we receive. When the nurturers, we are carers. We, you know, we take care of the family, we make the home, you know, but we don't build the home. You know, like, so there was just now this imbalance. It's been this imbalance in energies, because now the woman has to become more masculine, and now the men as well are like a distorted masculine, because now they have trauma from long ago. I know people want to say, oh, apartheid's over, or all these things, or slavery is over, or whatever. No, it made the actual thing that occurred may be over, but it doesn't mean that energetically, spiritually, or ancestrally that it wasn't an effect to it. Okay. And I don't want to now say that that it really is the cause, but it really has resulted in an imbalance, okay? And that has now resulted in the conflicts between the black man, to be specific, the black man and the black woman. I don't want to say other genders. Gender-based violence is everywhere, but it just seems like, for me, I've seen it to be so strong in this community, and just an imbalance, just a really an imbalance within us. And it's quite sad, but it really does stand back. It really does stand backwards, and just the imbalance, and the women now getting out of their role as the feminine. And as women, like I will do like a video like of feminine energy and masculine energy. I do have one on this video if you just want to have an idea of what a divine masculine and divine feminine is, how these are actual energies. Okay, it's in the universe, not just in our humans, you know, but like everywhere there's a balance of masculine and feminine energy. You know, the feminine energy is more receptive, masculine energy is, you know, like direct. It's that English is not my first language, guys, but yes, like it's more like the doer, you know. The masculine is more the doer, the feminine is more the receiver. So there's that balance. And even as humans, you know, and when you're in a coupling, when you're now in a relationship with a man, you know, when that balance is off, there will be triggers, there will be things that will just fall, because now you're not really aligned to the universal way of how things are and how God intended union between a man and a woman to be. So unfortunately, it has resulted in a lot of trauma occurring. But I don't want to say that it validates any abuse, but it really is the cause. And drugs, guys, to be honest, the drugs, alcohol is a problem, especially in this place that we are at. Okay, um, it's become a coping mechanism for people, and the truth is, people are in pain. People are in pain, and not everyone is willing to actually face themselves. That is what I realized. Not everyone is actually willing to face themselves, and especially if you're in the music industry or in the entertainment industry, a lot of people in that industry have sold their souls to the devil. To be honest, I don't want to be like conspiracy theorist on you, but they have done things to compromise their own self-worth, and have disconnected themselves from their truth. This is, people know about this. Okay, it's everywhere, because these entertainment industries are influenced by those energies. So if you don't really have a high sense of self, you can really fall victim, really fall victim to the crutches of fame, and the crutches of just of being in the public eye, and now being hindered and influenced by these energies, and also have sold yourself to them, and not really having that inner balance within you, and I don't even know really what I can say the lesson can be, or what we can do as a collective. But I just feel like it all goes back to knowing yourself, to going back to, people need to go back to themselves. Like self-reflection, guys, self-reflection is so important. It is important to go back to yourself, to face yourself, face your demons, face your trauma, and not escape. I know it's so easy to just take substances. I know I've fallen victim to that. I've fallen victim to being just stuck on substances. Okay, like my whole varsity life, I was really just surviving on taking substances to kind of escape from the pain, and knowing that I'm doing something I don't love, and that I had went through so much, even relationships, and just my own personal trauma, and even childhood upbringing, just a lot of things, a lot of things can result in pain in the human soul. And if we just, so easy for us to escape with drugs, because now they make us escape and forget life, and the woes that sometimes come with it. But it doesn't help, guys. It doesn't help. Sometimes you really need to, one, surrender to ourselves, and know that we are divinely guided and divinely protected, and to let God kind of take the wheel, guys. But it just starts with you. And sometimes that's what you need, is a downfall. Because I won't lie, I never really came to this journey without actually falling. I had to fall in order to really find God. And like, he found me when I was at my lowest. So I wouldn't expect people to, I don't say people should go to their lowest to actually seek their peace or their high points. But if you can just really take it back to yourself, take it back, ask yourself some deep questions about your life, really, there's no other way that we're ever gonna get out of this imbalances. People need to know themselves. The men need to take back their position of who they are, to know their self-worth, because it's also important to build from all the trauma of the past, okay, from what your ancestors went through, from, because it's in your DNA, it's in your genetic body, that trauma, that fighting spirit. Like, we don't have to fight anymore, but you still have that anger, because you're socially got degraded, and just the way that the man operates so different from the woman. And even us as the woman, now we had to take on the role of men, just working and really getting out of the imbalance of who we are as the feminine, as that flow, as that nurturer, as that carer. And now it becomes a clash, because now it's two men fighting each other, and now the feminine energy, the true feminine energy, is like nowhere to be found. There's very few women that are now able to actually really fully embody that feminine energy, because even their own responsibilities in life has made them get into worker bee mode, and get into that masculine energy of work, which is not really how we were designed to be. So there's a lot of stuff that actually society has also done to really destroy I don't want to just say black community and the black community, the black relationships, but yes, it has. But just in general, relationship between a man and woman has been adversely affected because of how society is, and we're operating against the current. We're operating opposite to what God really designed us to operate in as man and woman. So I hope my video makes sense. I know it was all over the place, but the most important thing that I learned from that video and from that situation is that, one, guys, One, it's important to listen to what your friends say, because this woman, it's obvious that people knew that she was being abused, and I don't know if her family or anyone really stood up to find out about it. Okay, so take care of your friends, guys. Like, watch over your friends somehow. Like, um if someone is reporting an abuse or any pain or trauma, don't take it lightly. I think sometimes also with society, we've just like really brushed off women abuse, you know, and especially in this world, and especially here in the South, like it's crazy, you know. It's just they made it so normal, and it really isn't. You know, a woman is treasure, and a woman is gold, and is meant to be respected and loved, you know. And it's sad. It's really sad. It's really sad that she lost her life. um I pray for her and ask that God heal her, you know, and her family, and also the man, you know. I hope he takes this as a lesson. I hope he takes this as a lesson and just doesn't go and repeat the same thing, and learn from what happened. And yes, guys, we got to be mindful about drugs and alcohol. They really are the destruction of the society. But we have to, most importantly, tap back into ourselves. We need to ask ourselves those deep questions about our life and what's going on, and never be afraid to pray, and realize that we do have a God out there who is here to heal and provide for us, and to save us from all the adversities that have been thrown at us in this society and this matrix system. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, like, comment, share, and subscribe. See you in the next one. Peace.